Well, very good evening to all of you. My name is Harry Saul, and together with the Honorable Andy David, Professor Michael Levitt, I welcome you on behalf of the U.S. Israel Binational Science Foundation to the Faculty Club, what I'm sure is going to be a very informative evening. By way of background, the U.S. Israel Binational Science Foundation, or the BSF, as we fondly refer to it, was founded in 1972 and was the first of the binational treaties between Israel and the United States. Both governments deposited equal amounts of money in an endowment, which today generates about $16 million a year, purely for basic scientific research projects that are collaborations between scientists in Israel and scientists in the United States. This money funds approximately 100 to 125 basic research proposals in all disciplines, if you're familiar with our U.S. National Science Foundation. It funds projects in life sciences, mathematics, psychology, physics, chemistry, economics. It excludes engineering, however. So some of the materials that we can provide to you will indicate that in any given year, the BSF gives out over 400 supports over 400 researchers in 150 different institutions. 37 states participate in the BSF grants. Can you guess which state is the largest recipient of BSF? California. At Stanford, right now, there are 17 active BSF grants going on to faculty members at Stanford. One of these recipients, Professor Or Gazani, was here. I think he departed. He was here. He works with...
to finish the report.
He works with yeah. He's got to renew for next year. He works with Dr. Dan Levy at Ben Gurion University. Professor Michael Levitt, who's here, works with Dr. Kesar Chen from Ben Gurion University. This is Michael's third round of BSF grants. Michael, I don't know how to say this in the right way, he is one of 45 Nobel Prize winners who receive BSF grants. There's a huge family of very, very impressive researchers that continue to work with the Binational Science Foundation to help support their ongoing research. So these BSF grants, although each one is relatively small, they're very large in stature. They go through a very rigorous peer review. There are 2,000 people each year around the world who are involved in reviewing the proposals that come in to the BSF. At most, 25% of the grant requests that are received get approved. On the other hand, the researchers that review these proposals feel that as many as 95% are worthy of support. So there's a huge gap between the quality of the proposals and the amount of funds available, a total of $16 million a year to fund this great work. The governance of the BSF is done through a board of governors. There are 10 members, 5 American scientists appointed by the U.S. State Department. Why do they know how to pick scientists? That's their job. And 5 Israeli scientists appointed by the Minister of Finance. I hope that's the chief scientist. Yes. So, let me also point out 2 representatives here from the BSF. Carol Efron, raise your hand. Thank you. And Kate Rosloff. So they can answer any questions you have, more specifics, more details about the BSF. We can also have questions, open questions, after Michael's presentation. Before that, I'd like to take a moment and introduce the Consul General for Israel, who serves the Pacific Northwest, Dr. Andy David. Dr. David was appointed in August of 2012. Previously, he served as a policy advisor to the Foreign Minister. He began his career in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in 1998. He's worked overseas in such exciting places as Azerbaijan, Hong Kong, Chicago, and the Midwest. And now he has to suffer here in San Francisco. Still smiling. Dr. David has lectured extensively throughout Israel, in the U.S., and in particular is done excellent work in creating a new cooperation between Israel and the U.S. Department of Homeland Securities throughout the U.S. at various levels and so on. And lastly, I'll mention that Dr. David really appreciates California for our most impressive features, the beauty of the coastline, and especially the excellent windsurfing, which can be done here in the bay. So with that, I'd like to introduce Dr. Andy David. Thank you.
If I'm speaking after Harry, I think I can go home and know that I did my job. I reached the top of my career. Harry is a model for me and for so many of us. Everything that he does. Thank you, Harry, for this kind introduction. I'm going to speak briefly a little bit about BSF and why I think it's such a great idea. And I'll do that through my mission. My mission, when I leave Israel and I go on a mission, certainly when I go to the US, the mission is very simple. It's to strengthen the special relation between Israel and the United States. This is why they pay me a salary, this is why they move my family, and this is why my wife hates me. But this is a slogan to promote the relationship or to strengthen the relationship. But there must be content there. And I think that BSF is a great example that already started in the 70s of how you do it right. How you do it in the right way. How you do it in a successful way. So there are a few mechanisms, which BSF is one of them, and all of them are similar. But I want to maybe say what they are and then explain why BSF is so special and so important. So the other mechanisms that exist are, maybe you've heard about them, are the BIRD Foundation, the Binational Industrial R&D Foundation, and we have BAR, which is the Agricultural R&D Foundation, and there are some other programs with specific states. Just recently, about 2 weeks ago, we signed the 4th agreement with California, the 4th agreement since I arrived. There are others before that with California, and this time it's between the Ministry of Science in Israel and CERM, the California Institute of Regenerative Medicine, who already signed another agreement with us a year ago, but now they signed an agreement on research, basic research in stem cell research. So we totally believe in those agreements where the two countries are putting money into the mix in order to promote collaboration for an American and Israeli entity working together. They're going to get sponsorship from a bigger body like a government. What's special about BSF compared to the BIRD Foundation is that in a study that was done a few years ago looking at the return for the investment, the return for investment in basic sciences, although sometimes it takes longer to see the return, but the return is many-fold higher. The innovation that comes out of basic sciences then can be utilized later to applied sciences in so many fields, and the return is tremendous. The question is, why not take all the money and put it into the Science Foundation? And the reason is because, and I'll be very open here, is because there are people who are making the decision and they're politicians, and they need to show short-term results. It's easy to show short-term results when it comes to industrial R&D. Take a company, another company, they have a product, they collaborate, they make it better, they sell it. Within a year, 2 years, 3 years, there are revenues, the fund is being paid back, and you say, okay, we did a great thing, you can show the statistics. With the science, the basic sciences, it takes longer than 4 years. And longer certainly than the average 2.5 years that an Israeli government will be in place. Therefore, I think that there is limitations to how much you can put here and how much you can put there. This is why I think the gap that Harry mentioned between the number of requests that are are up to the criteria and the number of those who are actually receiving, that gap has to be closed. And I think that this is part of why we are here tonight. There are many times where I present and I appear in front of people. I think this is one of those times where I'm wholeheartedly into the cause and I feel so positively about it and supporting it.